Prefecture in the Shikoku region, 850 kilometers from home, to visit a cat island. Hello sir, how are you? The first one to greet people. There are cats that come running to say, hey, the tourists are coming, they're here to feed us. There's a sign in Japanese over there marking the cat feeding area. And I love it because the cats come, greet people, and follow them knowing they'll get food there. The cats already have it figured out. Getting to this island is a bit complicated because only 2 ferries come a day. At around 8 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and there are also 2 going back. If you take the 2 o'clock ferry, you'll have to return in an hour since it's the last one. Why are there so many cats? Well, it turns out that since the Edo era, about 200 or 300 years ago, there were fishermen on this island and they brought cats. Japanese people have loved cats since ancient times. They didn't bring them without reason. They aren't very great hunters because there's more food here, but they just wait. There's more over here, my friends. Well, they're comfortable, like just give me what I want right where I'm standing. No, I'm not going to go look over there 50 centimeters away. But anyway, the thing is that in the Edo era, since there were fishermen, they brought cats to control the rat plagues because the rats, besides, what they did was eat the fishing nets, or so they say, right? And well, they kept reproducing and reproducing and reproducing, but nowadays there aren't that many cats anymore. This one drives them crazy. This one is always in the commercials, and now everyone knows the song from this ad by Heart, which is called Churu, and the song goes Churu, Churu, Chow Churu. But they love this pate like one, right? Didn't you eat? Yes, you like it too, right? Yes, sir, but most of the cats here are already quite old. The thing is, afterwards you have to separate the trash properly because here they ask you to take your trash home with you. Oh well, they've already eaten all the dry food.
In the waiting room, there's a box where you can put the leftovers.
Now I understand. I was just wondering if there was a place for that. Okay, the lady said there are plates to use over there. This is the rest area. It's nice here. For example, you can hear the lady who welcomes the tourists told me that if you want, you can leave donations for the cat's food. Oh look, you can take a postcard as a gift. Let's see, are there more than one? Look how pretty. Since we're here, let's leave some, okay? I only see small coins, but let's give a little so the kitties have enough. There are plates, and the plate we took it from here. There's food in case you want to feed the cats, and if you have leftover food, you have to put it there so people know someone left fresh food. And here are toys for the cats, which we can use to play with the cats for a little while, right? Seriously, if you don't bring them the food, they won't come to you. Anyone want to try? You have to do it like this. It's like serving food at a buffet or wedding, handing out appetizers. Someone over there was really hungry. Let's see if we can find a few more cats around the island to share a bit more. Nature is already taking over the houses. I mean, there are lots of houses already covered in plants. Everything is being overtaken by nature itself, which gives it a certain charm up to a point because it can get a bit creepy. Now we're at the island school because the island's population peaked at nearly 900 people 70 years ago. Little by little, the island became depopulated, and by the 70s, the school had already closed. So this school has been abandoned for about 50 years or more, which is already a bit dangerous. If the floor gives way, it'll only drop a few centimeters. That's really a very nice boat, huh? They have some vinyl records, some children's storybooks, a lot of vinyl records. I guess it's school music, and there's the record player. The classrooms are super empty, blackboards with messages. There's a signature that says 2028. I love it. Okay, I just saw a friend. Portillo 2024, that's right. Portillo was here a year ago. You can see this was the music room. They left the piano and everything. I find it curious. This school has doors to the outside, but there isn't. Oh, right, there isn't. Normally, schools have a central hallway on the other side, but here you can only enter and exit from the outside. Over there, the floor and everything is already ruined, but yes, sir. Basically, you could say that there haven't been any elementary school kids on this island since the 70s, or at least not since the 80s. No, in fact, the high school closed a little earlier. I don't know if it was another building or if it was part of this, but the thing is, there haven't been any minors here since the 90s at least. The fact is that in around 2018, about 210 cats were counted and around 172 were sterilized. And well, with that, they decided that the number of cats shouldn't increase. And the 2024 count, I think, was already down to 70 cats. And honestly, today, I'd say we didn't even see 30, at least not us. But anyway, the thing is that since most of the cats were sterilized, we haven't seen any more baby kittens. It's just that, of course, since there are only 3 people living on the island, once the people who are there pass away, there won't be anyone left to take care of the cats. Tourists can come and feed them. Whenever I watch YouTube videos, that lady is always there, like at the entrance of the island, to see if people are coming, maybe to tell them where to feed the cats, if there's food, this and that. And with that, she's probably reassured that someone will feed them. I imagine some days no tourists come, so she feeds them from their stock. Well, that's why they accept donations and similar support. I like that there's a temple. It's small but really nice and looks old. Normally on islands like this, since they're Shinto shrines, they're usually for good fortune, right? That's the whole thing about shrines. And probably, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure it's meant to bring good fishing, that kind of thing, right? But anyway, since we're here, let's toss in a coin. You throw in a coin, you play the bell. A big bow, a small one, 2 claps. And here there are also some small little shrines. I had read that in this place there was a festival, a Matsuri of Aoshima, of this place. They stopped years ago because attendance dropped and no one came anymore. Yeah, the thing is that this place became a tourist spot, but it's not a place that they never intended it to be for tourism. It wasn't touristy and it's not prepared for tourism either. And they noticed people coming and started adapting, creating a spot for the cats. And since it's just older people and no management, they do what they can. He came up here to join us. Hello, sir. How are you? This one, for example, looks well taken care of, but there are many cats that, poor things, look kind of sick, not very well cared for. From here, I can see the 3 tourist guys who came with us this morning. I think they must regret not leaving on the first ferry because a ferry arrives in the morning, leaves an hour later, then another one comes at 3 and leaves an hour later. An hour feels short, but if it's 6 or 7 hours, it gets long, and the guys are still there. They just went for a short walk and didn't even bring food for the cats, so probably because they didn't know they could feed them or anything. And so they stayed the whole time at the ferry stop, waiting the whole time, looking at their phones. What is really incredible is the number of abandoned houses. You can tell this used to be a store because it still has the cigarette sign. This was probably a shop that sold cigarettes. This was probably the neighborhood store. Look, 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 do you see? Those creatures are destroying the neighborhood. You're one of them, you're a punk, you're a punk. Oh, and another thing, I don't know if you've seen this in other countries, but I've only seen cats with short tails in Japan. My cat that I had was also born with a short tail. Like, it's common in Japan for them to have such short tails. I told my wife and she just said, huh? Because I told her that I've only seen short tails in Japan. She asked, are you sure it's not just Argentina? I don't know. Does anyone know another country with short-tailed cats? There's a big spider web here. Oh, I think I touched a bit of the web. Well, I don't think we can go much further over there. It's not worth getting too dirty, but look, there are small statuettes. These are usually from Buddhism. Who knows what kind of gods they are? That's right, a semi-abandoned island, population 3, but they have their big antenna, and this isn't the only one. On the other side of the island, there's another giant antenna, and they're pretty well maintained, huh? Because also here the phone signal works perfectly on the phone. And what's more, today on the ferry, it was just the 2 of us, 3 other tourists, and 2 workers who came to cut the grass around the previous antenna. So all good. This is one of the tallest houses. It's a nice view. Well, you can see the roofs of most of the houses, which of course are mostly abandoned. Let's see where this goes. This persimmon tree is full of persimmons. There's a little garden there, and on that side too. I guess they're already tired of eating persimmons. They probably just leave them like that and don't bother coming all the way up here to pick them anymore. There's another orchard over there, and it seems active. All the way up here, there's a cemetery. Wow. Oh, well, that's a lot, isn't it? Each tombstone, so to speak, stands for a family. Oh, the stone fell down. How? What a shame. Is this heavy? I'd put it back if I weren't going to get so dirty. It might just fall again. That one fell down and they picked it up as best they could. Oh, the cemetery has been pretty neglected still, except for a few like this one or that one over there. There's a lot of flies. They're relatively new graves. They're all new stones, so to speak. Only a few are really old like these. But and there are more here. Could these be important people? Because I see they keep leaving offerings, right? Like plants. I see they all have the same thing written. I don't know what it means. Ah, there's a name on the side. I didn't expect to find a cemetery, and honestly, it makes you realize how many people were here. But it's incredible. There are already more cemeteries than people. And I would even say than cats. And the cemetery keeps going. We're on the other side now, right? The cemetery is big, really big, incredible. A lot of tombstones. Wow, all the tombstones have fallen down, probably because of typhoons, earthquakes, neglect. Yeah, it looks like they still put flowers there. Probably a relative of one of the 3 residents, I guess. I think the cemetery ends here, but it's actually very big. And walking a bit further to the back, it's full of abandoned little houses. It's like a mini maze of houses here and there. And honestly, the scenery is a bit sad because of how empty it is, but it's nice. I imagine that with a bit of life, this would look like a very beautiful little place with lots of gardens, people's little gardens. But on this side, there are no cats. Cats only stay where people feed them. Well, we're at the back of the island. Well, almost at the back, because the island is pretty big. It's just not walkable. It's all forest. Here's a bathroom. A bathroom. Wow, what are those? The pit of... Oof. This could fall apart any moment. It's full of bugs in there, bugs everywhere, but, well, that's nothing more than an abandoned bathroom. Look how beautiful, nice view here, huh? But of course, it's all rocky, the island's coast. If there was a bit of sand, maybe people could come to the beach, right? But no, you can't. There's a grave there from what I can see. The sign there says Aoshima, the name of the island. That thing over there looks like a military plane. Well, my wife tells me that what's written are complicated kanji, so she doesn't really understand the meaning, she says, but it says something about sleeping on the island. Look, there's a boat over there. Well, let's see. I don't know if that boat belongs to the island. I don't think so, because, well, this island only has a population of 3 people, I mean. No, not many, no. And surely the people who are here, we already know that one is a very old lady, but the rest, I don't think any of them are under 50 or 60 years old. What do you think that boat is doing? Fishing? Taking something out? Let's see if there's anything else further back there. Now, the island's population peaked 80 years ago in 1942, where there lived 889 residents. That was the largest number of people who ever lived here. And by the year 2000, now by 2013, there were only 13 people living here. In 2013, the island went viral, let's say, because of the internet, right? At that time, only 15 people lived on the island, and that number dropped to 3. It looks like there's a shrine here. Let's check it out. Yes, a very small, already deteriorated shrine. I love it because even though the island is so small, we've already seen, well, this would be the 3rd shrine. Well, the big one, so to speak, had about 4 altars, and all of them Shinto, probably meant to bring good fortune to the fishermen. Here we're going to find the commemorative monument for the date when electricity was brought to the island, which was in August of 1971. So electricity only arrived on this island in 71. I love how sometimes there's always one that follows you around, the one that got left behind because of food. Now we're already carrying a couple of extra packets. Oh, how cute he is. Looks so cute, and what a beautiful coat you have. Let's see. Ah, another one came and another. What are you doing? Hey. Oh, it's 12 noon just now. I mean, it's already been half the day. The day feels long on this island, huh? I mean, we arrived, we got here at 8:40 in the morning. It's only been 3.5 hours and there are still 4 hours left before we leave. We were running out of food. Well, there's more, but I still don't know. Now, it's crazy that they play the noon music when only 3 people live here, I mean. And also, I think that's the first time I've heard that music. This is the festival I mentioned before that used to be held here, which was the Aoshima Bonodori, but it just stopped happening because nobody attends, nobody comes. You must really want to live here, huh? You really have to want it. No, here, if you want to buy a house, they'll probably give it away, no? There are only 2 ferries a day, nothing here except cats. But even within, at most 10 years, even all the cats will be gone. We don't know if anyone will remain. And I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the cats have their ears cut in a V shape, like they have a double tip. And that's to mark all the cats that have already been sterilized, like they've been marked, right? Well, with that, you already know that these poor guys aren't going to have any heirs, right? Well, none of the cats, no cat on the island is going to have any. Now, I realize that most of them, well, not most, but the ones you see the most are the blonde cats, the blonde and red-haired ones. He never wants to let go once he catches it. He won't pass the ball. Come on, tough guy, just pass it. Now I'm starting to think the last cat had to be born by 2018 when they began sterilizing the cats. Therefore, the youngest must be 7 years old, and the 3 people who live here are already over 75 years old. Therefore, it's just about there. I mean, surely in 10 years from now, this will be a completely abandoned island, a ghost island, like there must be quite a few in Japan. The ferry will surely stop coming. The island that's a little more touristy than this one is called Tajiroshima. I think that's what it was called. I went there 7 or 8 years ago. There were more cats. It was a bit more touristy and the ferry was a bit bigger. There were hotel-style cabins. There was a cafe and there was a bit more population. Not much, but a little more. That one is more famous. I wanted to visit it too, and honestly, there are quite a few cats here, but fewer than I expected. And I remember that the other island, the island had a lot more to explore and the cats were much more spread out. Here, it's as if they're all gathered around a few inhabited houses. Oh, and all the trash that piles up that is made by the people who visit, they're asked to take their trash with them, right? Because the poor people on the island can't take care of all the trash otherwise. So we gather everything into one single package. Look, 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 look. The next ferry arrived and the cats moved as everyone started heading to the side of the boat. I mean, you know, the cats really get it, huh? but it's like they're all lined up, waiting in order, ready to welcome. 6 people came, 6 tourists, and none of them brought food for the cats. So in total, there were 11 of us and only 2 of us fed the cats. It's a little sad. Some people assume the island is a tourist spot selling food for the cats, like Nara Park, but that's not true. Look, I don't blame them. I made the same mistake on the other island. I thought I could buy cat food from the people there, but there was nothing like that. Well, what can you do? That topic makes me a little sad. Luckily, I know there's plenty of food on the island and the people there feed them when tourists don't. Well, we're heading back, not home, since we have to film in another city. See you next time. Greetings to you, your family, your pet, and your jerk neighbor.